Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Hello, Lorna. You beat me here. I was trying to find my needles. I'm still not sure if I found the ones I want, but I needed needles with very large eyes. And yeah, I'm doing more of the little stitching. I need something easy to do without a lot of concentration because we are dealing with wildfires in our area and the possibility that we might have to evacuate, which we have not had to do since living up here in the mountains. So just kind of thinking about what we would need to pack, and we know we have a place to go, so at least there's that. Yeah, you win. You win. Nagograms work. That's what it is, right? Nagograms work. So these do not have any of my little stones and sticks on them. I wanted to make things that looked like they would go in a nature forest journal, but that didn't have any stones, sticks, nature material, live nature material or real nature material, so that it wouldn't limit me on shipping it someplace. And I wanted them to be really flat. So that's kind of what I'm doing, is some mass making. When I made these little kinds of clusters about a year or so ago, they were kind of more shabby chic, and I realized that wasn't really a style that I was going to do a lot of. So I kind of want to go in this other way. Yeah, it sucks. There's no other word for it. Last night, we usually watch the sunset out of our living room windows, and last night we looked out around 7:30, and the sky was like completely black except for one little corner of blue towards the north, and that quickly went away. So it's very smoky. Even with all the house closed up, the house is smoky. But both cars have full tanks of gas, and like I said, we have a place to go, so that's always the biggest worry. You know, people that have critters and they need some place to go, they might not be as lucky as we are. And hopefully it won't come to that. Hopefully we won't have to go anywhere. These are not the good scissors for this sort of thing. Let's see, I should have better scissors. Let's try these. And really, this kind of started just the other day while I was watching TV. I really wanted to just be using up these, tiny narrow strips. And you stop and think about it. When you're not using very much of something, it doesn't take much to fill it up. And I'm not going to layer them really thick, because what I learned, well, didn't learn, but when I was thinking about, if they're flat like this, now I can always add something else to the top and to the back. And I can always add sticks if I want to. But I want right now to have some bases that can go with or without nature stuff. Hey, Martha. Happy to have you here. Thank you. Yeah, I hope we can stay safe too. It's scary stuff. I don't like that kind of fear. When where we are, we can't see the fires right now. I hope we can never get to the point where we actually see the fires. Seeing the smoke is bad enough. But one of my friends lives a little bit higher up, and she was able to see the flames from her deck. And it's just the only good thing, if you can say a good thing, is that we should have some warning so we can, get out in a hurry. And, we're not people that are going to hang around and say, oh, no, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. It's like, nope, pack all the medicines, pack our clothes, pack the dog, pack us, and go. That will be us. We're not gonna mess around. I think I'm gonna kind of lay some of these out first, and then I can start stitching. What are you working on today, Martha? Are you still playing with your jelly plate? I was going to do eco printing this week, but just taking Zoe outside to go to the bathroom is a little bit too much smoke, even with a mask on, so I won't be doing any outdoor activities for a while. And the sad thing is we're right near the old growth redwoods, and it's a crown fire, which means, it's at the top of the trees, and it can just jump from tree to tree very easily. So that's the scary thing. Okay, it's all scary. I almost wasn't going to come on. I thought, well, no, this is a good distraction. I was making all this progress on my clean out. Actually, it's a good thing that I made all that progress in the clean out because I know where things are in the garage. I can find what we need, and actually there's nothing in the garage that we need to take with us except for the inflatable bed, because we'll go over to my in-laws' house and set up in their spare office. But you realize, I was thinking about how when I was in my 20s, what I would want to pack up and take with me is quite different from what I would think about packing up and taking with me now, in a good way, because when I was younger, I was much more worried about material possessions. Now, not so much. The trouble with threads, when you don't keep things sorted, everything gets all knotted up. Well, I need to do an updated tutorial on my eco dyeing for people. I realize it's interesting. I mean, I should have known this because I probably do the same thing when I watch, but people don't want to go back and watch old videos. They want new stuff. So my plan was this week to do eco dyeing and be back at doing other videos. I still have some other videos I might do, if we're hanging around here. Again, it's the distraction, and now I feel like enough of the the reorg is done that I can do some of this other stuff. I like that with the browns. Just dumped a bunch of stuff in my bin and it's all over the place. Okay, I will do an updated one. I think the reason most people fail, one of the reasons, I shouldn't say the reason, one of the reasons a lot of eco printing fails is lack of good contact. You've got to make sure everything is nice and tight because basically it's a contact print. After I did that, I don't like that color with it. I want something light. Is anybody else obsessed with the super? That's what this stuff is called. It's from old book, bookbinding, and it's that mesh that's got the little glue on it, so it gets kind of stiff. And I just love this stuff. I hoard it. And you can buy it new, but it's just not quite the same as the stuff that you tear off of an old book. Oh, glad you haven't had those kind of issues, Lorna. Oh, how is your basement cleanup coming, though? You had other issues to deal with. All right, do I have any other fibery things in here? I guess I could use a little bit of the burlap, maybe. When you're doing these little things, they really don't need much. And that's how I get myself into trouble, is that I save so many things. If you do that, I can't really see that wonderful little line there. But maybe the fact that it's there is enough for me. Maybe that's it. Right, I like that. Plastic cutting mats. Yeah, that'll work. Are you doing a steam or a submersion method, Martha? Lately, I've been doing submersion, but the next batch will probably be some steaming. So if I'm submerging in my big pot, I have a baking pan that's like 10 by 13, something like that. So it's a little oversized so I can put stuff on the edges. And I just build my papers right inside the pan. And then I just weight it down with a couple of bricks because I'm doing it out on the barbecue. Think. What does this need? Maybe it doesn't want that. Also discovered I don't use lace nearly as much as I thought I might. All right, I like those. Let's get some of these guys laid out. Yeah, the hurricanes where you are, Martha, that would freak me out. When I lived in Virginia and when I lived in Louisiana, those were the things that scared me. And they laughed at me because I said, you came from the land of earthquakes and you're afraid of a little hurricane. But it was mostly the alarms. They would have that sound like it was coming closer and closer and closer, and it took forever to get closer, and I just wanted it to hurry up and do whatever it was going to do and be over and done with. Martha, do you prep your papers with anything? I usually dip my papers in my alum mix. Yeah, things need to be dry. Our sunroom is on hold. We're still waiting. The tile was supposed to come in, and it didn't come in. It didn't come in. And now with the fires, I don't know when anybody will get back to work. I haven't heard from our contractor for a while, and I know that the town he lives in, which is a couple towns over from us, was one of the ones that was evacuated in the middle of the night. So I don't even know if he's in town or he's been going to Colorado lately to do some work on his mother-in-law's place. So maybe he's been there. But you just kind of figure everything's going to be on hold for a while. So you just don't need that much, just the littlest bit. This feels so weird. It's cheesecloth, but it feels like metal because I used India ink on it, and it's got the best texture. And if we do that, and maybe just a little bit of this thread. Yeah, so you might want to try that the next time. I'll try and get a video up. Well, again, with this stuff going on right now, I don't know when, but I can't remember what my ratio is. I mean, I don't measure exactly. I have these white tubs for when I'm doing any kind of paper coloring, so they're big enough that I can dip my paper in for tea dyeing or, whatever kind of color dyeing I'm doing. And so I'm dissolve my alum, maybe like a tablespoon of alum. I dissolve in, some water so that it, melts. You got to get it hot so it melts. And then I dump it in my tub and fill the rest of the tub with water. And then I just dump all my sheets in it. And you can actually do that ahead of time. So like you could do that now so that the sheets would be ready. The sheets of paper would be ready when you were going to eco dye, because they can be dry and that's fine. They're just coated with the alum. And you want to make sure that gets dissolved, because otherwise, the very first time I ever did eco dyeing or eco printing, I knew about alum and I had it, but I just kind of tossed it in the pot with the plant, with the, when I was submersing it, and things didn't get completely dissolved. So then I had this coating of it on the papers, and it was kind of not exactly what I wanted. So then I just, I dip my papers in that, and then you can dip your leaves in vinegar before you put them on there, and sometimes that will give you a little bit of extra oomph. But I have eco printing video on my list, and I also have the fabric dyeing and testing. People want to know all the different ways I dye my fabric and what stays with water and what doesn't. So I was going to do one of those with all the different ways, because I dye my fabric so many different ways. So Laura, how much more work do you have to do on all those big chunky monkey journals you're working on? Are they close to being finished? I actually laid out some journals yesterday, and then things got kind of crazy, so I haven't gone back to them, but I'm going to be working on a set of 5 journals to celebrate an upcoming really big milestone. I'm getting very close to 5,000 subscribers, so thank you everybody for your support and sharing and thumbs up and all that good stuff that has been helping my channel grow. It's got like a seam in it. I don't want the seam. What else can you add in there? Just want the stuff to look like it kind of got deserted in the forest. And then I found some, the wonderful thing about cleaning your space, your workspace, is you find things that, not just that you forgot you had, but also sometimes projects that you forgot you started. And that's what I found. And it was like, oh, these are some great bases. I used to use them for making tags and journal covers. And I figured out a way to actually make an actual journal from them. So it's using old book pages. So we're always looking for ideas to use up old book pages, right? Really, Lorna? I'm surprised. I haven't looked at other people's subscriber things, but yeah, I'm very, very grateful. Hey, Janet, you snuck in? Yeah, I'm just really grateful, especially since I've been not doing a lot of other videos lately. So the fact that people are still subscribing. Okay, this doesn't want to fray the way I want it to. So this fabric, it's a fake fabric. It's not a, it's a synthetic. It's not a natural. So let's get some of this other lining that I know will fray. I don't know if you heard what I'm working on, Janet, but this is my distraction thing. I'm just trying to do some more of my little clusters, but without leaves and plant materials, since I can't ship that out of the country, and I want to be able to make some things that can go elsewhere. Oh well, Lorna, you got me beaten Etsy sales, so you know how it's always a competition between us, right? And those are the people that don't realize that Lorna is a dear friend, and she and I, you will hear us tease back and forth about all kinds of things. So yeah, this is my fire distraction project. Wax all over your fingers. I love playing with wax. Lorna, have you discovered a glue that works well for you on holding items that you've waxed? I have used art glitter glue. I saw Andrea do a video the other day. It looks like she was using her Beacon 3-in-1 and it was holding pretty well. But people always ask me what glues, and I know we all have different glues. What else can we add to this? We could add a little bit of this rusty thing. I'll get 5 of them laid out, then I can start stitching. And then we'll add just a few of these threads. See, and so you have this big old thing like, okay, got this big old thing of this rust, and you saw that little tiny piece that I'm cutting. You know, you really don't need much to embellish your journals. All right, we need another base. I want to imagine somebody was running through the forest and this fell off their book or their clothes or their something. Let's do a tall one. Thanks, Janet. They're very soothing for me to make, and I've been working on them in front of the TV a lot. I like that kind of not having to think a lot. But right now, having to, if you think about evacuating and you think about all the craft supplies we've collected over the years, you know, I wouldn't be able to take them with me. So that's makes you think about what you've saved a lot differently. What kind of wax do you like to use? I ended up, I had a few of the Finnabar Art Alchemy waxes, but boy, the smells are kind of intense. So I switched over to Gilder's wax. The smells aren't quite as bad, or as strong, I should say. And I know it's the different chemicals that they use. I just ordered some pan pastels to play with. I have not played with them before. I'm looking forward to having some fun with them. Crafter's equivalent of watching paint dry, watching people fray fabric. Crazy, huh? Yeah, the thought of starting over is scary. You know, and your brain does all these weird things. It's like, okay, so then if we leave, like, okay, we have mail coming. You know, if you can't get back to your house to check on your mail, somebody can, you know, is your fire, well, of course you worry if your mailbox is going to, you know, burn up, but then Is somebody going to steal the stuff? We have a generator that's going to be delivered on Monday. It'd be nice if we're here to accept delivery of the generator. And then, you know, if your house is left alone and it doesn't catch fire, do you have to worry about looters coming through? So then I started thinking about, you know, okay, maybe I don't need to carry all these other things with me, but what are things that would be bad for the looters to get a hold of? So I was thinking about all the checkbooks, all the unused checks. Make sure you grab all of those so that they're not left behind. Just strange. The brain is bebopping all over the place. Hey, Dee Dee. Happy Wednesday. How you doing? Thank you, those of you that are here and have given me a thumbs up. I am just setting up some little clusters to stitch. Some more. I'm really liking this little stuff lately, so if you like it, keep using it, right? Use it up. This is yellow. Yellow does not go with that. Okay. I need to hydrate. Okay, you're right, Martha. I would agree. Fraying fabric is more fun than that. I've been putting off. I've saved a whole bunch of my plastic protector sheets because I need to make, I want to make first a stamp folio, and then I want to make a couple of ephemera ones. But it's like, I'm just, yeah. I just need to do it. Just simple ones. I've, got enough stamps that I want to be able to easily, sort through by color or theme, mostly theme. I fell down the eBay rabbit hole lately, so I've got a bunch of old books coming. I think I'll do some scanning tonight if we're still here. And then it's like, okay, do you take the computers obviously with you? Do you take the printers, or you think, well, with the insurance company, I could buy a nicer printer, or, you're going to be worried about other things, so printer maybe isn't something you want to worry about. But gosh, your brain just goes crazy, or my brain goes crazy. Practical people like my husband just look at, this is what has to be done. This is what we don't have to worry about. This is something that we can't control. And then, thank goodness, one of us in the household has that kind of a brain, so we can not both be stressed. I'm not stressed, really. Not yet. I'm sure if it has to, happen, then I'm going to get really stressed. But maybe we should put the other one on. No, that's okay. All right, that gives me 5 to stitch. Let's stitch. No, Lorna, you absolutely cannot send me any scanning. You told me you love scanning. You lied to me. You lied. I thought you loved scanning. My stack is probably 2 feet high now of scanning that has to be done, and that does not include the books that I want to, I guess I'm going to have to take apart first so that I can scan them. But there's some good stuff. There's some really good old, when I first started making journals, I was just, I know what happened is when I was first making them, there was one of our favorite used bookstores was going out of business. Look at this, people. I finally found a pincushion. So we were buying all these books, to help them as they were going out of business, and all these old books. But I wasn't thinking about size. So I've got some beautiful old books, but they're huge. They're huge coffee table books that I just don't want to deal with all the stuff I have to do to use them right now. And then a bunch of them that are they're great because they're old, but they're not in my nature kind of style. So some of those will go on my sale, which I'm still planning a destash sale if I have stuff to destash after all the fire stuff. So now I've been looking on eBay more for things, nature-oriented, botany, really some fun books coming, really fun books coming. Yeah, Martha, you've been doing pretty good on those, so that's great. You got to keep on top of it. And I want to get enough of these clusters made up that I can put some of them in the shop too. And then if I sell the clusters without actual plant material on them, then people can, add them from their own yard. Oh, people, our house is all closed up and it's been closed up for days, but the smoke is still coming in. My eyes are burning. I just can't even imagine. We're about 15 miles away at this point, from the evacuation zones, but if the winds shift, it could change very fast. And I'm grateful, in the past, before pandemic, my husband might have been on the other side of the mountain and might not have been able to get home if I needed to have him help pack up to evacuate. So I'm grateful that he's working from home now. Lorna, before you scan your books, do you try and actually maneuver them on your scanner while they're all still bound, or do you gut them and then do the pages? So I'm thinking that's probably what I'm going to have to do, especially because some of these are so thick, they're not going to lay right on the screen. But scanning should be a good relaxing activity in front of the TV tonight. I shouldn't say relaxing, but yeah, sometimes that stuff you got to do for money is not creative. It was like when I was, writing and publishing, I did a lot of work for hire, which was nice, except, it wasn't using my creative brain. It was like, okay, this is good. I'm going to get a check for this, but. So what I'm thinking on these is I'm just trying to do fast and dirty. And before I put them in a journal, I might put a little bit of glue down there, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I just want to hold these pieces together, and if I was working on a journal, I could glue a stone in here. I could come back with a needle and add another stone or a stick, but I've got some nice bases. Or I could just put this on the side of a page. I need to think of these in a way that I guess that would still work as a tab. That's kind of one of the things I want to think about, is how to do some of the, especially since I have a lot of these long skinny strips. So if I can do them as a tab, that would be good too. Okay, so you got them, yeah. 1850 Scientific America book. Oh, that'll be awesome. Yeah, Martha, we get alerts, and we've got a really, really great small community here. So we've got a local, besides our local next door group where our CAL FIRE and the local law enforcement agencies post all their stuff there. We've got a little local Facebook group that there's a guy, I think he's a real estate agent, and he posts updates. He goes to all the press conferences for us, and he posts all the updates. And the community's been great. I mean, there were people that were being evacuated like at 1 o'clock in the morning. And when I got up this morning, I saw people saying, I've got room for you to come camp out. I can take your horses. I can take your pigs. I can, somebody else just posted something, said they had 3 pigs and a goat they needed to find a home for temporarily, and somebody immediately jumped in. Our little grocery store closed down until noon so that they could go over to the base camp and feed the firefighters. So yeah, and then my husband and I both get alerts on our phone as well. You went to, shoot, what's her name that does the wonderful online? I need to go to her sales. Shoot, what is her name? Tell us her name again, Lorna. I love these. These just make me happy. Don't they look like somebody left them when they were wandering in the forest? And they don't need much, but they'll add a lot to a page. Or an envelope, or a top of a tag. Yeah, I think, okay, give me a vote. Something like this sticking off would still be fine as a tab, right? It doesn't have to be completely flat. I need to, I'm too traditional a lot of times in my thinking. I need to think more outside of the box, not be so predictable. Yeah, Patty Lang. Thank you, Lorna. I just totally went mind blank on her. She has some great, great stuff. I'm almost afraid to go to one of the sales because I'm afraid I'm going to go crazy. I love these. They just, and if they make me happy, why not keep making them? You guys might get sick of watching me make them, but they make me happy to make them, so I'm going to keep going on them. They make a good tab. I think so too. And I need tabs. I haven't been putting tabs in the last dozen journals or so, and I'm wanting to do that and not traditional ones. I also was thinking, do I have one here? You know those the little recipe card dividers? They've got the little tab on it. Something like this would go right over the tab part, and that would be a good little accent. Yeah, I got legit carried away on eBay. I just and Etsy. I was looking for, well, originally I went off looking for wings of monarch butterflies because that's our state butterfly here in California. And so I found a place that it's a preservation farm, so all the insects, live on the farm and die on the farm, and then they collect the wings and sell them. And so I found some, and I thought, I just wanted a pair of monarch wings. And then when I looked up, I had bought a lot of butterfly wings. So that'll be cool to use actual butterfly wings in my journal, but I did not expect to go crazy on that. And then my flowers, I do not press flowers to say I press leaves. I press hundreds and hundreds of leaves, but I don't press flowers because I leave the flowers to go to seed for the birds, because we don't put out bird feeders of any kind. We want to have the plants grow so that the birds can continually forage for themselves, so they don't have to be dependent on us filling a feeder. So I decided, okay, I'm just not going to hassle with trying to grow flowers to press. They're more finicky than leaves sometimes, and so I just was going to buy some. And I found this absolutely marvelous seller on Etsy. They are in Utah, and their stuff is reasonably priced, and it comes packaged beautifully, and I went a little crazy from them. And so then I went back like a couple weeks later to see if they'd added anything new, right? Because that's what we do. And I put all these things in my cart thinking, I'm not going to buy them right now, but I'm going to remember. And then they offered 20% off in the cart. So don't you know, I had to, of course, buy everything that was in my cart. Yeah, and then eBay and the books. My husband and I are lethal when we would go to used bookstores because we both love old books so much. So he indulges me a lot with that. Oh, right, Janet. Absolutely. Yeah, there's, Pacific Grove has got a lot of them there, and then Santa Cruz Natural Bridges is where they overwinter. So you can go down there in like October and see them hanging from the eucalyptus trees, which is just beautiful to see. Looking back at the chat, making sure I don't miss things. I guess I don't have to worry about making sure I'm on live chat when I'm the one doing the videos. It's only when I go watch somebody else's thing that I have to remember that I'm on live chat and not top chat. I don't know what the point of that top chat thing is. You miss half the conversations. Dee Dee, what are you working on today? Or are you doing work? Because it's the middle of your work day. And it's funny, I've been making these clusters for, like a month now. My scraps are not going down. Some of the pieces get a little smaller, but like I said, these just do not take that much. I'm so happy with the clean out that's been doing. I think at garbage day yesterday, I think the recycling bin was completely full of stuff that I had been tossing. Can almost maneuver around in the garage now, and I'll be able to set up a lot of my messy stuff out there. I like these so much. Well, I shouldn't say I like them better. I like them different than the first batch of fabric clusters I did. In fact, I think it was one of the very first make-ahead videos I did, but I realized, well, they were really pretty little collections of fabric and lace. They didn't really go with my style. These are much more my style. But I think sometimes, you start experimenting with things and you're not really sure what your style is. Or your style evolves. We don't love the same things all our lives. When I was a kid, my favorite color was purple. Everything in my bedroom was purple. My bedspread was purple. My curtains were purple. My jewelry box was purple. Everything was purple. Especially since my mom wouldn't let me wear a lot of purple clothes. And now I'm like, purple, not so much. It's all about the green. So it makes sense that our styles would change, or we learn how to do something new and it takes us in a new direction with our art, and that gets us excited about doing things differently. More water for me here. We'll see. I don't know if I'll last 2 hours or not. If my throat doesn't last, because I know the smoke is just going to get worse here over the next few weeks, I should say. It's going to be a while before they can contain this thing. They're saying they probably won't be able to contain it until September, which is really scary. But the redwoods are so tall, and this fire started from the lightning strikes we had Saturday night. We had a huge storm and lightning strikes, and the tops of these trees catch fire, and then the winds pick up and the fire jumps from treetop to treetop. Oh, this one might be my favorite, or current favorite. My favorite changes all the time. So Zoe had her vet appointment yesterday just for her annual, which I'm glad that she did yesterday, since that part of town is now like where the staging zone is for the fire base camp and stuff. But they don't let you go in the office with the dog. You have to stay out in the car, and they come out and get her and take her in. I wasn't sure how she was going to do going by herself, but she was fine. They said she was wonderful. She was looking good and healthy for a woman of certain years. Her real only issue is when we adopted her, she was about 9 months old, and her front teeth were broken. Like maybe she'd tried to chew her way out of some metal or something. And that seems to be the only thing, and it's not causing her any issues, so we're not going to worry about it. Let's see, what else? We need some more bases now. I like that piece of my rust. Ooh, I didn't bring out any other rusted fabric. That's some sari silk. This is kind of bright, and I did not bring any vintage photo out, but let's see. That might be kind of bright for these until I dye that, I think. Too bright. Oh, this is some wool. Oh, I love this. I think this is alcohol inks. Okay. I want this rusty bit right in the center. This probably needs to be ironed, huh? It's not gonna lay right. Let's see if we can make it lay right. I don't know. No, it's gonna need to be ironed, I think. I'm picky like that. I do like this bit of green right here, though. All right, let's think in terms of tabs. So if we build it on this side, build it inwards instead of the other way. This lace looks kind of grungy. What else have we got? This is some suede. You're not Sharon, Lorna? Some kind of friend you are. Where's mine? I could be starving over here. I could be wasting away, and you're not Sharon. Okay, wasting away, that's probably not going to happen on me. Can we make a skinny one like that a tab if we build it in the other way? Be a little tab for a little journal. And the ones I'm going to be working on next are little. Let's see if we can fray this stuff. Okay, thank you. Yes. Actually, I have peanut butter almost every afternoon. I have a spoonful of peanut butter. And it's like a little routine now with Zoe. She hears me open the drawer in the kitchen, and she's kind of interested. But as soon as she hears me open the pantry where she knows the jar of peanut butter is, she's very interested in what I'm doing, comes racing in because she gets to lick the spoon when I'm done. All right, if that goes there, let me put a little bit of lace on it. And some of this weird stuff here. Do this. That's big enough for a tab. Totally big enough for a tab. Okay, that's what we're going to think about. And then we can add some frayed threads. Yeah, the wasting away is not likely to happen in my lifetime. These are just the end of the strings from a tea bag. But I love if you unfurl them, you get this wonderful, okay, if you can unfurl them, you can get these wonderful loose threads. There we go, get some of that started. So I was thinking, if I have to evacuate, what would I take with me to work on, while I was away from home, besides the computer? That's not an easy decision. Sorry, I got to do a little bit of housekeeping here. Yeah, getting to that point where I'm getting a little, well, wait a minute, what point? Housekeeping or possibly evacuating? We are at the possible evacuation point at some point, maybe in the next few hours, few days, we don't know. Enough that the smoke is really, really bad here. And drifting into our unsealed house in spots. All right, if I want to use that as a tab, I want that as an outside edge. We could add a little bit of sari. Hey, Carla. Yeah, a lot of fires here in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and we're currently about 15 miles away from the evacuation zones, but if the winds shift, that could change. So we are making plans in case that should happen. Not a fun thing. I don't like that as much as I thought I would. We need something else for this. Oh, we're lucky. My husband's parents live on the other side of the mountain, about half hour or so away, so we can go over there, and they've got a spare room we can camp out in, for which I am very, very grateful, because I've been watching another friend who is closer to having to evacuate, probably will have to evacuate today or tomorrow, and she was scrambling to figure out a place for her and her husband and her 4 cats to go. Yeah, but you just start thinking about what you've got here, how important some of it is, and sometimes the stuff that you feel is important, of course, you learn really isn't as important as you thought. Other stuff, you're like, why am I thinking about taking that kind of stuff? But yeah, what a horrible time to have to evacuate, right, in the middle of a pandemic, and for people that have to try and find like hotel rooms and stuff. I mean, I would be very nervous to have to go to a hotel. All right, why is this batch not coming together as quickly? This one's okay, but I don't like this one. Why don't I like this one? It should be gorgeous. It's got gorgeous fabrics. Maybe it doesn't want to be the base. Maybe it wants to be part of something else. So how are you doing, Carla? What are you working on lately? A lot of this fabric, once it's been dyed, it does not want to fray. Yeah, same thing as you dealing with the hurricanes. You know, and I have friends that do big art, you know, huge paintings that hang on the wall. They're like, you know, they just have to say goodbye to it because you just can't take it all with you. With me, I know that, you know, it'd be hard to think about the stuff that you would, you know, like if your house burned and you had to buy more stuff, you know, if you're worrying about something, your house just went down, you're certainly not going to want to go out and buy craft supplies. So it's like, okay, you just need to come to the right mental set. I'm very nice and calm now. I'm sure if it actually happens and we have to do something, well, I'll be nice. I'm one of those people that's very nice and calm in the middle of the crisis. It's when the worst of the crisis is past, then I completely fall apart, which is weird. Ooh, what are you using then, Carla? Or we have to go watch your video to see what you're using that's not magazine pages. I love your 3-tier books. So innovative. All right, does the green want to be on the bottom? Does the green want to be on the top? I think the green wants to be on the top. I need a different shape thing. So whatever you bring out is never all the stuff that you think you need, right? You're always like, well, where is something else? I need something different. Maybe some cheesecloth of a different color. The lighter green? I think the lighter green. Yeah, hard to imagine Carla not using magazine or catalog images, isn't it? Most of my favorites that I've made have been sold off, so I don't feel like compelled. I think I would feel more compelled to be able to make new art. That's what I've been thinking about this morning, is that it's not necessarily the old stuff that I would want to save. It's more, well, I have one wall art piece that I'm really proud of that I might save, my trees. But I think it's more that I would need to be able to create new art, you know, that sanity saving that art does for us. All right, that's got potential. All right, so there's 2. Let's see. I like doing that in batches of 5. Oh, wow, all kinds of stuff. I tell you, this whole, for me, this whole mental shift in the way I'm doing art happened when I decided that magazine images were no longer for me, which was just unreal considering how many years I'd spent collecting all these magazine images. I did not expect to come to that kind of a conclusion. Love this little bit of linen. Okay, for some reason I'm hyper-focused on the idea if we had to evacuate our mail. I guess, you know, you could try and put a stop mail on, but all the things going on with the post office right now, I don't know. All right, if we build it like this. Like that. Sometimes you just need the right shade of something. I can't get enough water. You have a lot of things to fill it with that aren't magazine images, Carla. Is there a theme, or is it just your wonderful random stuff that you do that I love it? You start off random, and then when you're done, it looks like it all was planned to go together. It's just, you're really, really good at that. Need something else little to go in there. Oh, where'd my little pieces of wool go? Maybe not the yellow. Ooh, I could put a little bit of the yellow on that. And maybe a little bit of the dark green. Maybe behind some lace. Still would like a little something there. Maybe some, sorry, I forget to keep looking if I'm in frame or not. Okay, Martha, you take care. We'll be talking soon. Oh, that's a good idea, Carla. Yeah. Yeah, it's good to show people other things that they can do without the magazines. It's funny, stuff we take for granted. It's so easy for us to get a hold of, and it's not so easy for some people. All right, those 2. Although this maybe needs one more something. Maybe not. Or maybe it just needs a little something dark on top. What do we got here? This is stuff that all stuck together with the paint, but it doesn't matter. It gives it kind of some interesting texture. This is, when you first get it, it's very, somebody's walking by, Zoe's going crazy. It's that really soft, filmy kind of they sell it at the dollar store for Halloween stuff. And so it's really soft and it's pure white. And so I've used different things to dye it. And sometimes it stays nice and soft and sometimes it all glums together. I think this was with the India inks. But I love it because it's, you can't set out to create something like that. All right, so I think if we put a little bit of that in the back so that it shows through. Yeah, and then maybe a couple dark threads. Where did my threads go? Sorry for all the clinking. Just want something really dark on top. Not much, but a little bit of that. Yeah, Lorna, I don't know how you make a decision like that. What goes, what stays, family walks. No, that's not going to give me enough dark. I'm being too picky, I know, but this is my method. Janet, did you finish your sunflower journal yet, or are you still working on it? Black is going to be too dark. And we'll take the gray. Yep, just need a little dark in the center. All right, that gives me 3. I need 2 more. Hey, Valerie. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a good Wednesday. Maybe a slightly bigger base. This is just like the most fun for me, guys. I just love piecing these little things together. So really, the plan is to get a bunch of these done so I can get them in the shop. Like that. That's the one I was worried about being not flat, but maybe we'll mess with it anyways. All right. Like that. I am making these little clusters. They're just very, very flat, so they're not going to take up a lot of room in a journal. I had made some a few weeks ago that have like some stones and things on them, and I wanted to make some that were a lot flatter for some current projects, and also that didn't have any real plant material on them, so that I didn't have to have restrictions about where I might send them, because we're not supposed to be mailing things like that out of the country. And so I'm thinking some of these, like this, will be some good tabs in nature journals. All right. Now I need something dark. Let's just go back to the standby, right? If it works, stick with it. So I'm going to take some of this. And then we want some little lace. This has some blue in it, though. I'm not going to play up the blue. I'm going to stick with the earthy. Well, I guess blue could be earthy, but not today. Oh, Malaya, same thing with the napkins. I had 2 of these huge bins full of napkins, and I went through them and thought, okay, I'm going to put most of these aside in the boxes for the sale. And I still have one huge bin, and I'm thinking that's nuts. I really need to reduce that again, because when am I getting, plus I have all the fussy cut napkins still too. So there's no reason for me to have all the napkins I have. All right, we're getting somewhere on that one. I can fray this a little more. Still working on the sunflower journal, yeah. I like doing the things with the privacy envelopes. I have a bunch of those out. I was going to work on, well, I had plans for the lives, but really with all the stuff going on right now, I just needed something that made me happy, that was going to be distracting. So here we are, making clusters again. Call August the month of clusters. All right, we're getting somewhere there. Those two. My greens, these are all the wrong greens. Some interesting green threads. Different lace. What do I got here? This was a placemat, but I think those are the wrong greens too. However, you do get some interesting threads. Oh, so the dark green might be kind of interesting. Nothing is safe, you know, but something you can rip up, tear up, glue down, sew down. Oh man, my throat. It's a good thing Zoe can hold it for long periods of time and doesn't need to go out every hour, because going out in that smoke would not be fun any more than we already have to. All right, not liking that either. Okay, I like this weird bit of lace. Let's see. I guess Zoe likes it too. Zoe approved. That's always a good thing. All right, like that. The lace needs to go on top, doesn't it? You were probably saying that. All right, that one's going to be, maybe that's too much lace. Maybe we don't need as much, and then I can put it on the other one too. Been trying to figure out how I could do some fabric snippets that would look like they belonged in the forest. You know, I see all these snippets where there are lots of, lace and fancy stuff, and it's like, no, that doesn't quite look like somebody left it in the forest. So if anybody's got any suggestions or has seen anybody do a snippet roll that looks like it could have been left in the forest, I would love to know. I want the thinner stuff. Hey, Terry. Dee Dee, I love you too. You know it. You know it. Yeah, cluster. I gotcha. Didn't see you sneak in, Terry. Hope you're doing okay. Let's see. Threads. Where? I cannot believe that I didn't bring. I mean, I've got pink threads. Pink threads are not something I need. And this is not a good green. Let's see. Ha 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 ha. More threads. Let's see. Ooh, I like that. I like that for both of them. That was easy. Of course, I'll have another big mess at the end of the day here, but that's okay too. Okay, love these. We want, what color thread do we want? I think we want this rusty thread. You still moving? Oh, that's a chore. Although this big clean out feels like I've been moving. It's a lot of stuff we should have done before we moved into this place. And we just, we just did not have the mindset to tackle that kind of thing. All right, thread the needle, maybe. There we go. Yeah, another baggie of goodies. And Janet, the boxes that I have been setting aside for stuff to sell, oh my goodness. So these bins are like, I guess they're about 18 inches by 18 inches, plastic storage bins I got at the Container Store years ago. They've been absolutely fabulous for so many things. And so as I've been tossing things in the garage, I've been emptying these bins and using them to put the sale stuff. And I thought, okay, I've got like 3 bins ready for the sale. I have 5 bins that are full. And last night I started a 6th bin. It's insane. But it'll feel good when the stuff can get moved out of here. I know. I wanted to finish the living room part of the studio reorganization, because I've got to bring the sale stuff in, and I'm not going to be able to sell it all in one sale. It's going to have to be multiple sales. So I need to decide what can go first and just get myself mentally prepped for that. So I was thinking September. Now it just sort of depends on how things roll with the fire situation. So I figure, clean the house so that because the sale is going to make a mess, and the getting everything sorted to share and then packing to ship. That's why before I even started thinking about things that I could do on a live sale, I was glad to bulk sell a bunch of stuff to some friends. I don't like that part. That's too wide. So I think I did 3 bulk sales, which were good. Yeah, it'll be kind of freaky to have all that room when I get rid of all the sales stuff. Because we just have a 1-car garage, so putting all that stuff out in the garage means it's a lot harder to maneuver out there. And I've got a workspace out there, as well as in the house, and as well as on the deck. I have workspaces everywhere, and the world's most indulgent husband. Terry, I hear you. Yeah. Although, I send stuff out, and then I fell down the rabbit hole on eBay looking at stuff, and that was not good. All right, my lace did not get caught, so we need to, or didn't get caught enough. Scooch on over here. Can always add some glue in spots when I get ready to put it in the journal. I know I probably said that. Sorry if I'm repeating myself, guys. I didn't want to cancel today, but I knew my brain was going to be all over the place. I'm going to clip that little bit right there. And I figured y'all would understand. Yeah, October, wow. Just doesn't seem like it was that, yeah. For all the stuff that's changed with the pandemic, time is still going pretty darn fast. Thank you, everybody, for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Do you have a deadline, Terry, on when you're hoping to get all the move stuff done? Oh, I love these. I just love these, guys. I love them. And that's what it should be. You should love the stuff you're working on. If everybody in the world loves doing pink shabby chic and you don't love pink shabby chic, don't do pink shabby chic. Do you? Says the woman who has acquired so many shabby chic things that will be going in the sale because I don't do pink shabby chic. Not my thing. I'm going to need more thread. Throat, the eyes. Oh. Zoe keeps looking out the front window and making noises like somebody is here, and nobody's here. She just cracks me up. I don't know what she sees. I keep thinking it's the coat rack that we moved into the sunroom. Maybe I need to move that back into the garage. She's a good watchdog, and I'm grateful for that. Oh, wow. So that's coming up. Yeah, I think sometimes that happens too. She sees something I don't. As long as it's not when we're outside and she sees something like a skunk. Having a dog be skunked once is enough. It's bad enough when, you just smell them from the outside, but when your dog sleeps in the bedroom with you and she's been skunked, whew, takes a long time for that smell to go away. Oh, that's good, Terry. So down to the nitty-gritty. But it's such a, an emotional drain to do that kind of a move, and there's the emotions attached to the things, and then there's just the physical stuff that, after a certain point, it's hard at certain ages to keep doing some of that physical stuff. Is everything connected? If everything's connected, I'm not going to sew that anymore. Everything is connected. That is good. We're going to call this one done. Because again, I can do some more tacking things down. Yeah, lots of letting go. And it's funny, some of the stuff, like I thought I had gotten rid of all my old publishing stuff years ago, other than the books. But I found another huge file of things in the garage in my clean out, and I had to stop and look through a bunch of the pictures and read a bunch of the things. And then it was like, nope, I'm done. That part's gone. Goodbye. It feels good when it's done, but making the decision sometimes is hard. Okay, all of these strands are so short, they're only long enough for one thing. Let's see. Ooh, some of these are needles that are threaded. Now that I have my little pin cushion, I have 3 more needles here. Wow. Okay. And this guy looks like he's got the color thread that I want. Nice. Shoot. Is it long enough? Let's see. Long enough for one more. Yeah, it's feeling very liberating when you get to that point. That's great. To look and see who's been stitched and who hasn't. Oh, I'm loving them. Now I'm definitely thinking about these as tabs. Let's see, I'm going to pull these down. I don't want everything looking so even. Oh, I know. Let's pull each of the threads at different. There we go. Not quite the right tweezers for it, but you don't want it to look like it was just unraveled from something else. I need to come up with some stories to share, huh? You know, with not going places, we don't have any funny stories to share. Even when we were going places, we didn't go out much. Our big events were once a week going to the local brewery where they had trivia night. We would meet a couple of our friends, 2 other couples, and we were a team, and we would play trivia. It was put on by our local library. And that was our Friday night or our Thursday night outings. And then my book group. And that was it. There was nothing else regular that we would go out and do. All right, I'm thinking I need to do something over here. But the orange thread is not really going to be the best in there, is it? Maybe we have too much of this. That might be part of it. Let's cut this back and get a haircut. All right, that's good. I like that. And we just need to make sure it's connected. Wow, what a difference that made. Might still need a little bit of glue in there. Oh, darn, Carla. That's frustrating. You think you're all done, and it's like, whoops, surprise. Yeah, I was going to do a bunch of these with little flat pieces and just do little embroidery on them, like little stitch meditations. But, you know, the cluster bug has bit, and that's what we're sticking with. I might not like the stitch here. I might need to add a dab of glue. No, I guess that's okay. Do one more little thing here. Some of this fabric, when it gets dyed, or especially the rusted fabric, when you rust fabric, it's very hard sometimes to get a needle through. All right, I think that's all connected. Now I feel like I need to do something. I've got these 3 stitches there. I feel like I need to do something that makes it look a little more deliberate. Carla, because you're an artist, that's why. So Janet, you're one of those that has to do the cover first. I know a couple people like that. What about the rest of you? Cover first on a journal and then the pages, then the embellishments? Or for me, I pick the base fabric for the cover, and then I go through and I pick my papers, and then I work on the pages before putting them in the book. I do most of my work on the pages, and then I sew everything in, and the cover is the last thing I do because the book changes for me while I'm working. All right, I think I need a little more orange, maybe up here. Now let's come, maybe not. Decisions, the artist's dilemma. Yeah, if you haven't seen Carla's 3-tiered books, you should go over to her channel, Caged Fish, and look at her 3-tiered books. They're very interesting. Need to adapt something like that for a journal that you can write in would be fun. All right, this one's getting more stitching than most of them, but that's okay. Oh man. Be doing some throat coat tea when this is done. Even though it's so hot, the idea of drinking tea right now is not pleasant, but I know that's what my throat's going to need. All right. 2 more and we will have 10. You have a playlist for them? Great. Wait a minute. I need to page back up. I missed some stuff. It's interesting, Janet, isn't it, how you get certain things in your head? It's like, no, I have to be at this point before I can do the next step. When I was writing, I had to have the title for the book before I could really commit to finishing writing the book. And if I had the wrong title, I couldn't write. I just could not get started. Of course, I ended up with a lot of titles for books that I never finished writing too, but yeah, I needed to have the title on the book, which I guess was sort of like having the cover. And the embellishments, I used to do a lot of the make-aheads, but now I'm more more looking at getting bases for make-aheads done, and then the actual make-aheads or the actual embellishments will happen, you know, when I'm working on the journal. It's your fourth 3-tiered book. That's a tongue twister. Yeah, Janet, I think that's some of it too. You have the book in mind, and you can picture the image. We will just stop right there, and I'll leave that needle threaded for something else. And this one's going to get some brown. I mean, for a long time I was doing custom journals, so I had a theme that I was, you know, doing the journals around, and that dictated the cover and everything else. And then when I stopped doing the custom journals, it sort of stopped me. It was like I think that was where I kind of felt I had lost my style, but really what it was is that I hadn't really felt like the style was me. I was doing everybody else's work. So it was their journals in sort of my style, but really it wasn't. And now I feel like I've found a little bit more of who I am as an artist. Yeah, the dark brown is much better. I'm just going to do a bunch of little ones. Yeah, a lot of times have to leave pages out because the journals get so big. And that's something I didn't think about a lot. Well, I still don't think about it nearly as much as I should. This next batch that I'm doing for my subscriber giveaway will be single signature journals, but I know they're going to be fat because that's just the way my journals come out. Trying to figure out how to do a giveaway so that even though it says subscribers, you know, you get people that really you don't interact with, and I would like the giveaway to be people that, you know, that come to the lives, that comment on the videos, that are active, you know, in the same areas. So I'm trying to figure out how to do a giveaway like that, because I think maybe in the next month or so, month or two, I should reach my goal, which means considering how slow I work, I should get going on those other journals. I did cut the covers. I was trying to decide I was going to do them on the live, and I thought, no, maybe I'll just do a series of making the journals, videos, so I get back to doing the actual videos. More water. I'm going to be out of water here in a minute. I like this one too. This little bit of lace peeking out almost looks like my moss if I was using moss, which I am not. Burlap I love burlap. You can use it with everything. It just always goes. No matter what you're doing, burlap goes. Nobody is in the back of my little stitching. Let's see, I might see if I can tuck just one little stitch here. Doesn't need a knot, just a little bit to hold it down. Yeah. Yep, each time I finish one, it's like, that's my new favorite. That's my new favorite. Oh, I love that one. Well, unusable, I mean, I guess it depends if it's somebody, do people buy the journals to actually use them? That it's a question I've had with another friend recently, to actually use them, or do they buy them to collect? When I buy journals, it's to collect. I'm a collector. I want to buy journals that I can be inspired by. I'll flip the pages. I don't want to see my ugly handwriting in them. So it's that's just a personal thing. How many of you buy journals to write in, and how many of you buy journals just to collect and have on the shelf? Separate those threads out. Oh, and I should have done the same thing. Yeah, make them different lengths so it's not so precise. After the fact, I think of it. After the fact. All right, now I'm going to be looking at these completely differently, thinking about tabs, so that's good. That'll give me both decorations and tabs. Lorna, I hadn't either for the longest time, and then I got hooked. I think the first one I bought was from Jibbid, just one of her little herbariums, or how do you say them? For me, writing in a journal, it just, my history with writing goes back from doing reporting for newspapers and working on my own books. I always wrote in a steno pad. There were no distractions with pretty pictures and stuff, and I could, that was just what I used. So for 30 plus years, that's what I was used to using to write in, and I would journal in it, and I would do my newspaper work in it, and I would do my novels in it, I would do my poetry in it. So I can't write easily in something that's all prettied up. That's just a personal thing. That's another favorite. See, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so we have 10 so far. I don't know that I'm going to get another 5 done, but let's see what we can do. I won't say fast because I'm not going to be about being fast. So Dee Dee, you do both. Janet, you, yeah, see, I was thinking if I was going to write in a journal, like, I don't know, transfer quotes or something into it, I would make it myself, and it would not be very much embellished. But yeah, the ones I buy are to inspire me. I can pick up any one of the journals that I have here and be inspired. I'm waiting for 2 to come in now, one from Sweden and one from Russia. So I don't know, they might not be here until the end of September. Who knows? I have no idea how long it'll take with stuff coming into the country. Yeah, it's, it's a personal thing. Some people will write all over their journal. That's their thing. They love it. Okay, I love that little fringe hanging down. We got to use that. And there was a book years ago called The Artist's Way, and I did change my method. Instead of a steno pad, I used a regular school composition notebook, like a full-size composition notebook, college ruled. But yeah, I've got gazillions of those steno pads still around. I like this green lace. See, now normally you'd cut the little seam and you'd say, nope, I'm going to toss that. But there's just enough of that green lace on there that's going to be perfect on this one. I can tell. Should have taken a decongestant this morning. I did not, and now it's too late in the day because it means I won't sleep at night if I take one. Yeah, I can't write in those black composition books because they're wide ruled for some reason. And yeah, boy, I'm picky. I got a lot of issues. All right, let's put the fuzzy thing under. I'll put the lace on there. And some of my strange little stuff here. Maybe that's not the right one. Maybe we want this one. Looks like an old wadded up rag of some kind, but another friend of mine was just saying the same thing, Lorna, that, it's not finished until you write in it. But I don't know. It's just, I guess it's a personal thing for everybody. I was actually thinking about working on some that were mostly filled up with stuff and then had an accompanying journal that was, for writing in. This is getting too fat and I don't like it. I like these three. Didn't like that lace on there. All right, maybe we do this. It's the same colors, but it's a different texture. I like that with stuff hanging down. That's kind of cool. Okay, except that wool is not going to stay in there. Yeah, whatever floats your boat. We got to do our thing. Okay. I guess I spent so many years writing poetry to get out all my emotions and just doing like morning pages from Julia Cameron. I guess the art is different for me. The feelings go into whatever it is I'm working on, but not the page, not the words on the page. If I make a journal for me, it's just a bare bones, blank pages, no pictures. Because again, I'm very easily distracted. So if I've got pretty things on the page, I'm just going to stop and look at the pretty things on the page and not going to write anything down. Lately, all my writing has been on Post-it notes, reminding myself what I'm expecting to be coming in the mail, since mail is hit and miss up here lately. And I think just about everything is nailed down there. I like all that stuff hanging off. Okay, maybe not all of it's connected since some of that just went flying. I would have loved to do like a visual journal when I was younger. My first experience with, matching words with magazine images was in the 7th grade, and the teacher had us, make a book. More water. And it had to have like a certain number of pages, and then we had to take magazine pictures, and then we had to find a poem, part of a poem that went with the picture. And I got carried away. I mean, I think it it had to be 20 pages, and I did like 100 pages because I fell in love with the whole thing. And then the teacher loved the book so much that she wanted to have it bound so that she could use it as an example. And then she never gave it back to me. She kept saying she was going to give it back to me, and she never did. It was just, parts of poems. We had to do find the right poem. So, I mean, reading poetry was always wonderful, and then find the pictures to go with it. Yeah, visual journal. If you can't find the words, it's perfect. I used to do a lot of visual prompts for people when I was writing. That you won't see that part of it's missing. Just going to remember to have enough, that I can actually stitch it. Yeah, it would be cool to have back, and I'm bummed. I even saw or talked to her, I don't know, 30 years ago, but she's like, oh, yeah, I should get that back to you, and then she disappeared. Oh, well. Do that more at an angle. Different greens. It doesn't match, but I need to be okay sometimes with things not matching. I'm really loving these little bits of the wool. Put that under and there. Kind of like that. And then something kind of orangey maybe. Let's see what this looks like. That's probably a little too orange. Well, if we put something on top of it, it won't be too orange, right? Can tone it down just a little. Whoops. Still maybe too orange. Take some of them out. I like that. Yeah, that was what the morning pages did for me. That let me really empty my brain at a rough time in my life. When you're struggling, you do what you need to do to get past the rough spots. When I was living in New Orleans, it was definitely the roughest time in my life. And man, I filled my morning pages. I did 5 pages every day without fail, just doing, the brain dump. Because, it just would make me crazy not to get all that stuff out of my head. And when your life is out of control, you got to try and control whatever you can just to kind of keep some sanity. I actually did some writing yesterday for the first time in a long time, and kind of surprised myself. It's like, oh yeah, this used to be what you did every day. I would spend hours at the computer, and when I was working my day job, I would be writing myself little notes, sending emails to myself at home. Now, of course, you could do all of this with glue. You don't need to stitch. You could zip through these really fast, and I might try and do that. Maybe I'll try and do some faster with some glue. Because like I said, I thought I was going to do embroidery. I was going to take just a couple pieces of material and stitch them together with some, straight stitches and French knots and what have you. And then I end up back at this, but I like seeing the little stitches in there. But if you got your pile of scraps, just sit down and make some layers. And these are they're nice and flat, so they're really not going to add a lot of bulk, no matter how I end up using them. That's right. And you can't control what other people are doing. You can only control your reaction to what they're doing. So writing kind of helped me control my reaction to some things that were out of my control. That's going to probably want a piece of glue later. All right, I'm going to call that one done. Maybe I'll lay some of these out and try gluing them. I just realized I had a whole bunch that I had sort of prepped when I was talking to a friend the other day. Maybe I can stitch. Let's see. I see one I like. It's got some potential. It's a little bit of that placemat. Some threads. Maybe just the tiniest bit of wool. And the threads kind of go in and cut the ends. I think I'm going to use them so that then they can move around. And I think these are threads left from fraying some material. All right, and this is going to need a different color. Rest will be good on this one. I don't know, do we think I can do 15? That seems to be my thing in 2 hours, getting 15 of these done. Oh. Ooh, the thread is splitting. Let's see. That doesn't want to go through. I'll have to cut it. Oh, threading needles with old eyes. I'm having a lot of trouble with my vision lately. There we go. Woo! A great horned caterpillar. Oh, wow. Or greenhorn. That's awesome. Last year I had a lot of caterpillars. Shoot, I forgot the butterfly they were for, but not long after that there was a fresh brood of chickadees, so the caterpillars were gone in no time. I keep trying to get my milkweed patch established, but plants are pretty scraggly and they don't seem to thrive, even though this is their environment. But maybe eventually, it takes a while to establish a native habitat, which is what we're trying to do. You found 8 of them? Oh my goodness. Yeah, not so cute anymore if they're eating all your edible plants. The first year we were here, we tried to grow some edibles, but the raccoons soon made us think otherwise about that. And finally decided, since water is such a premium here, we'll support the local farmers markets and stuff, and we're not trying to grow any edibles at all. Chicken food, yep. All right, something about there's too many of these threads, huh? There are too many. Let's pull some of these out. And so some people would think I'm being way too picky about these and taking time, taking too much time to do them. But I've said this before, the process, I'm really trying. For so many years when I wrote, it was all about how fast I could get something done, and I had to meet a deadline, especially when I was doing the newspaper work. And I don't want that to be the way it is with my art. I want to work at my pace. I'm not doing commission work right now, so I'm not trying to meet a deadline, only self-imposed deadlines. And the joy is in the process. I take as much joy from gathering the materials that I'm going to use as I do in doing the work. If you follow me on Facebook, you might have seen a recent post of mine. I think I put it on Instagram too, of the items I forage on the property before they come into the studio. And sometimes I just go out there and rearrange the items on the table because they just make me so happy to see them there. All right, do I want to, I've got to figure out how I'm going to, that last little bit needs a little stitch. Yeah, if we get to the point where we can put a screen porch on like to have it just coming out of the master bedroom on the deck, because our deck is huge, so we could put a screen porch there, then I could do edibles inside there. But between the rabbits and the raccoons, it's like, the deer are on the other side of the fence, so we don't have to worry about them eating the edibles, but still. All right, I don't want to do a stitch up there, but I've got to, well, that'll just be one of those glue things later. These guys are still looking a little too precise. Just take out a few. All right, that looks a little better. Let's just tie this guy off. Yeah, that bit right there needs something, but I think I'm going to do some glue. Yeah, the moment of the day to add to the bliss. That's it. And sometimes, some days, joy is hard to find, so we need to learn to look in the small spaces in our lives for the joy. I mean, there was a time when I was living in New Orleans that, if I had to name 3 happy things that day, it was that, I had a roof over my head, I had a job, and my dog loved me. That was it. So you learn to find the moments where there's something to make you smile. All right, that's 13. I don't know. Let's see. What do we got over here? This guy looks close. This would be another good tab. Just needs more stuff. I could get away with the brighter stuff. Let's see. We could even combine it, huh? Let's put the two together on there. And then maybe something like this. We can cut some of the threads. Get that bright orange out of there. It doesn't quite go. And maybe just a little bit of brown, just a hint of something dark to kind of draw your eye in. Forgot to bring out the bag of brown threads, but this will work. And we're going to give this guy a haircut at different lengths. All right, what color thread on this? Might almost be too big. Well, maybe because we did that, we can use the rest. Or maybe it wants the beige. Yep, I think I want the light on that one. I don't have any birch bits on the table, Terry. This batch I'm trying to do without using any bark or moss or anything like that, in case I wanted to have some that I could mail out of the country, because I'm going to put some of these in the shop, and I'm not supposed to mail that kind of stuff out of the country. So I have got your birch bits on the other table in the studio for the actual journals that I'm working on. Oh gosh, the wind just picked up. I hear the chimes. It's one of those times I do not want to hear the wind chimes. I actually picked out one of the bigger pieces you sent me to use as a base for a wall hanging that I want to do, because they're just beautiful pieces. I'm so grateful. Oh, I don't like seeing that wind come up. That is not good. All right, let's get this guy sewn down. Maybe we can still make 15. I'll do 15 like this, and then I'm going to see offline. I'll see how fast I can do 15 if I was just gluing. But I think I still spend a lot of time just picking out the different layers that I want to put on there. And all of these could just have like a piece of vintage book text on the background, and put it all on a tag would be great. I made my threads so long it's going to tangle. It wants to tangle. If you don't take really wide stitches, they can almost disappear in here. Hey, Amanda. Okay, Terry, thanks for popping in. I'll talk to you later. I'm not going to be here too much longer. How are you doing today, Amanda? Yeah, you can't even really see the stitches. Oh, I love that. They just sort of disappear back there. See, and again, this is going to become one of my favorites, and it was just one of those things that was just sitting over there I'd fiddled with when I was on the phone, and I love it. Making some die cuts. I'm okay. I'm a little nervous because the mountains here are on fire and the wind just picked up, so we've got our plans in place in case we have to evacuate. They're evacuating all the way out to Boulder Creek and Bonnie Doon. Went in the middle of the night last night. I know you know those areas. I think everybody's sewn down. Maybe one more on this guy over here. Oh, that's actually just fraying from the material. Good, we'll take that off and we can use it on something else. And this one here, I'm just going to leave that. Thank you. Yeah, we're up in Scotts Valley, so at the moment, we're okay, but it changes so fast, and the winds just started kicking in, so. All right, now I'm going to be stubborn. I'm going to stay a few more minutes because I want to get 15. Let's see, what do we have here that's mostly together? This one's got some potential. I'm going to take this little piece. And needs a little bit more of that. Oh, that was part of this thing. That's what that was. Let's take a big piece of that. Let's, come on. Doggone it. My fingers don't want to work. I don't like that green on there. We need something different. Just a little something different. Add a little bit of this. And then maybe some lace. Just the tiniest bit of lace. You don't really see lace in the forest, but maybe somebody caught their dress on a tree as they were running out through the forest, right? And all right, let's layer this up better. I'm going to do this one, put these guys together right there, and I think that'll be good. Let's get a knot, and that'll get us to number 15. It's a little too fluorescent. Sort of want a couple threads, just a couple. I have a thing for threads, I cannot lie. I'm not sure why, but I just can't keep myself from saving. I always save them, can't help it. Oh, well, That did not go as planned. Let's see. A fairy caught her dress on a tree, yeah. We can make up a story to make it all work, right? Let's see here. Don't want the white showing up too much there. Yeah, when it's behind this little bits of wool too, you just see the illusion of some of the lace, and I like that better. This wool I got in, I don't know, 5 or 6 different colors on Etsy. It's called wool roving, and I guess then you would do stuff with it, spin it or something, but I don't do that kind of stuff. But it just made a really great accent. See these little loops here. There we go. Get those a little uneven. Get these guys uneven. I'm going to make it 2 hours and we'll still have another 15, so that's awesome. All right, we get sort of all drifted off to the side, but that's okay. Just want to make sure it's all connected. Make this like a band. Yeah, I wish I did fairies because that would go good with the forest theme, but I guess I just haven't seen the ones that really appealed to me. The cutesy ones don't do it, and if it's a fairy version that I see a bunch of people using, I tend to not go that way. Let's tie this guy off. And it looks like these guys are a little too perfect. Let's mess them up some. There we go. All right. Let's see what we have. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm pretty happy with all of those today. Whoops. They can go on journal pages, they can go on envelopes, they can go on tags, on journal cards, they can go on the edge of a page as a tab, and people can add their own twigs and leaves and moss to them. And I will just keep building my stash of clusters. Thanks for hanging with me guys today and helping distract me from all the stuff that's going on. I will, if you follow me on Facebook, I'll post the stuff on Facebook, what's happening with us, and then I'll post down in my community tab what's going on, so you will know if we have to bug out or something. But thank you for watching, and thank you for the thumbs up, and go out and create something yourself today and have a wonderful rest of your week. I will hopefully see you next Wednesday at. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.